All right, guys, welcome back to the Fighter's Eye podcast. Tonight, we're going to be breaking down every single fight on UFC 317, full fight card predictions and breakdowns. We were supposed to have UFC lightweight Matt Frivola a part of this video, but less than 2 hours before the interview is supposed to happen, he canceled. So, um, he's not going to be part of the episode, just going to be me. I don't want to make anybody feel pressured to ask them on super short notice to be a part of those videos, so I'm going to do it myself, and then July 12th, the next fight night, we will have a guest on. So, anyways, let's get to the card. First fight, I'm going to start off with this fight because it just got changed. Jackson McVeigh versus Christopher Ewert, I believe his last name is. I don't really know that much about either man, to be honest. I think this is like a 50-50 fight, but I know Jackson McVeigh, has 3 submissions, 3 knockouts, all in the first round. And UFC debut, UFC 317, International Fight Week. And I think he's going to come out here and possibly get another first round finish. He looks pretty good. I watched 1 or 2 of his fights. You see, he has a Barbo choke at 33 seconds in round 1. He has a guillotine choke 53 seconds in round 1. A knockout with 42 seconds in round 1. A guillotine choke again 52 seconds in round 1. So I'm gonna say he comes out here, and I know he's mostly a grappler. He likes submissions, and he has been falling in love with the striking a little more. To be honest, I know nothing about Christopher Ewert. So yeah, I know he's kind of well rounded. I know he's a good fundamental boxing. He's all right grappling, but I'm gonna trust Jackson McVeigh to come out here and get a takedown and get a round 1 sub. I'm gonna say probably like an arm triangle, or maybe Christopher shoots into a takedown, not realizing how good Jackson McVeigh guillotine is, and he gets guillotine choked. So give me McVeigh by round 1 submission. Now we can get on to the fights, like the fights that I know for sure. All right. Second fight of the night, we got Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. Very simple one. I'm going to go Jacoby Smith by round 2 KO. A lot of people are saying round 1. And Jacoby Smith's 10-0, undefeated, has brutal knockout power. And he's fighting a veteran in Nico Price, 16-8, who's fought some good guys. You know, he's fought Vicente Luque. He fought Alex Morono. He's fought Temba Garimbo. He's fought Robbie Lawler, Phil Rowe, Michel Pereira, Jeff Neal. So James Vick. He's fought some pretty decent guys. And most of his wins come by TKO, but I see this is a very, you gain nothing, or you gain a lot, but you also lose your job if you lose this for Nico Price. I think he's going to come in here. I think round 1 could be, it could be a little close. Nico Price is very long, very tall. Maybe he's able to stick that jab out there, 2 to the body, stick the head with the jab and then an uppercut. Maybe he's able to, clip Jacoby Smith a little bit, in the beginning round, but towards the end, I see Jacoby Smith, maybe lunging in with a big shot and stopping Price like that at the end of round 1 or round 2. Jacoby Smith, then he knows his range with Nico Price because he just had that first round with him. Comes in, gets him against the cage, slip, body hook, rip, kind of like Ilya Taporia, because Nico Price is going to be a lot taller, and he just flatlines Nico Price like that. So I'm going to say early round 2, Jacoby Smith KO. He moves to 2-0, probably gets another performance bonus. So yeah, give me Jacoby Smith. Third fight, Jonathan Denise versus Alvin Hines. I watched the one Alvin Hines fight. I believe it's the most recent one. Against what was it? Sorry, against it was against Mark Kerr, so it wasn't even his most recent one. But that was in January of this year. He looks pretty okay. He looks like a normal heavyweight. He looks slow on the feet, got some okay wrestling, nothing too special. And Jonathan Denise was undefeated until his last fight when he fought Marcin Tybura and got lost via stoppage after getting his face literally rained down with hell elbows, blood all over his face. It was so nasty. But I'm gonna say Jonathan Denise by KO and probably round 1, to be honest. Alvin Hines, he does nothing special. He does everything decent, everything okay. He's got good skills. But I think Jonathan Denise is gonna be able to come in here, pressure and put him on the back foot. Set up the jabs, and I think a body shot probably, step in knee. Alvin Hines maybe tries to shoot a takedown. Jonathan Denise pushes him off, lands a knee right to the liver and stops him. Or, Jonathan Denise gets him in close against the cage, rips to the body and stops him like that. Um, and I think Janata Denise is going to use this clinch elbows to the head, clinch knees to the body to really wear down Alvin Hines. Maybe Alvin Hines can get a takedown or two because Janata Denise showed a little weakness in the wrestling. But I think Janata Denise is going to come in here, get back on the win streak, another KO in round one. Really make a statement on International Fight Week and take the undefeated record from Alvin Hines. So give me Janata Denise by round one TKO, probably a body shot, maybe an elbow in the clinch drops him, but I think a body shot against the cage, step in knee, double hooks to the body, something like that is what's going to get Janata Denise the win. Alvin Hines, in one of his fights, I seen a clip. I didn't like really watch full fights for the fighters debuting, and Janata's a 2-1 favorite. Yeah, so I think he's just gonna like I saw Alvin Hines get hurt to the body with a body kick, and Janata Denise doesn't kick to the body that much, so I don't think Alvin Hines really gonna have to worry about that. But his body shots with the boxing is pretty nasty, so I think Janata Denise is gonna get it done. Rolling TKO body shot. Next fight, like both these guys. Terrence McKinney versus Vishav Borshev. We had both guys on the channel this year. Um, I don't like picking between two fighters I've had on the channel because I have so much respect for everybody that gets on the channel. But I'm going to go Terrence McKinney by decision. A lot of people think that what's it called? Terrence McKinney is either going to come in here and get a round one stoppage or he'll get worn down and stop late. I disagree. I mean, Terrence McKinney obviously he got stopped brutally in round one by Esteban Ribovics, who's very high level, who's like one of the best unranked lightweights. So there's no shame in that. And Vishat Borslev went to a draw with Nazim Sadikov, who we just saw have a fight of the year contender and get a brutal KO win on Saturday. Borslev also, made it to round two against Chase Hooper, took some big shots on the feet, got dropped, made it stay with it for a little bit before it ended up getting submitted. Terrence McKinney had an all-out war, almost KO'd Drew Dober in the first round. He's KO'd Matt Favola in 14 seconds in his debut. So a lot of people overlook the wins they've got. And I think Terrence McKinney's going to come in here, maybe even get a 10-8 in round one. Terrence McKinney's a vicious round one fighter. Just lays it all in line, hits you with some hard shots. Probably one of the hardest hitting lightweights there is in round one. And I see him dropping Borshev, almost stopping him. Borshev, manages to survive, but has a really rough round. Split open, like right here, split open with blood coming out from elbows on the ground. Round two, Borshev's like, okay, I took his hardest shots. He's going to be worn out a little bit. Borshev starts landing the body kick. He starts landing some jab to the body, start landing some overhands. Maybe he shoots a takedown and takes down Terrence for a minute. And then Terrence works his way back to the bot, or works his way back to the feet, or tries threatening a guillotine. Borshev gets out, you know. But on the feet, Terrence is able to do the better slick boxing. Clip Borshev a little more to get round two as well. And then round three, Terrence is going to be knowing that he poured all his all in round one, hit him with some hard shots that would probably put most people away at lightweight. And then in round two, he was able to clip him, maybe wobble him in round two with a pullback to the shit, like a pullback straight right to the chin. And I think Borshev's just gonna be able to keep to the body a little more, land that body kick. 1, 2, stick Terrence. Maybe Terrence tries coming in, gets clipped with a shot and gets wobbled, or maybe even gets dropped, but he's not that hurt. He's able to survive. And Borshev gets round three. So I'm actually going to say 29-27 unanimous decision for Terrence McKinney. He gets a 10-8 in the first and just beats the crap out of Visha Slav. We've seen it happen with Chase Hooper. We've seen it happen with Nazim Sadikov, who has better cardio than T-Rex and probably hits it just as hard. We've seen Borshev struggle with James Lomtop, who's not even in the UFC. There's someone else he struggled with that I didn't like that he struggled with. Who was it? It was Mark Jacasey, right? He's pretty good. He's not that all good. He's not that all good. Vishav Veslav has also fought Mike Davis, who's pretty decent. He blocked me on Instagram. I have no reason why, so I don't like him. But um, he just fought Tom Nolan his last fight. We know how good Tom Nolan is, and he survived. He got dominated though. And I think T-Rex would be a little more competitive with Tom Nolan. So I'm gonna say T-Rex 29-27 decision. It's an all-out war. Maybe even gets fight of the night. And T-Rex gets it done and gets another win. So give me Terrence McKinney by 29-27 decision. Next fight, Viviane Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. I'm tempted to go with the underdog in Vivian. I'm gonna go Tracy Cortez, but Vivian beat Karine Silva. She was the big underdog there. Just used her grab and bloodied her up a little bit, and got the win 29-28. But I think Tracy Cortez also would probably beat Karine Silva. I mean, if you ask me, Rose Namajunas would outclass Vivian Araújo in a 5 round fight. Vivian would not be able to keep up with the pace of Rose. And, Tracy got dropped pretty cleanly in round one against Rose, but she definitely had her moments in all the rounds. Had her moments where she was sticking Rose, had her moments in the clinch. And I think Tracy just is a little more technical and a little more smart when it comes to fight IQ. And let's not forget, Tracy Cortez beat Jasmine Jasudavicius, who's ranked above Rose in the current rankings. I believe Jasmine's 6 and Rose is 7. She's beat Melissa Gatto. She did that dominantly. She has no stoppages in the UFC, or I don't believe so. No, she doesn't. She also has a win over Aaron Blanchfield, bro. Aaron Blanchfield, the girl that has fought for the number 1 contendership, the girl that was just in the main event. She didn't even get the fight, but Aaron Blanchfield was severely, severely underrated. I'm gonna say Tracy Cortez 29-28 split decision. Vivian is longer, so she might be able to. I think Tracy's gonna press forward, high guard, stick the one, stick like tough boxing combos, and maybe Vivian's able to land a little more on the back foot, land a leg kick when Tracy stops trying to throw down, keep her to the body, stick that 1-2 on her. When Tracy throws, Vivian pulls back, pop, pop. Or if Tracy walks forward, pop, just step that jab right on her nose. So maybe Vivian is able to do it, but I think Tracy Cortez is probably going to get a 29-28 split decision. Vivian's wrestling is pretty okay, but I can even see a world where Tracy Cortez takes down Vivian late when Vivian's a little worn down. She's in the fight, but it's been all staying up to that point. Tracy's able to get a single leg, get a double leg, take her down, control her, and win the fight. So give me Tracy Cortez by 29-28 split decision. But I could also see Vivian as cashing as an underdog. If you want to put money on Vivian, it's not a bad bet. But I'm gonna go Tracy on this one. Next fight, Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado. I really like Jose. I really like Jose Delgado as a prospect. He knocked out Connor Matthews, who isn't a bad win. A lot of people say it's an easy win. Connor Matthews is pretty underrated. I think he's pretty good. He's on the channel, super nice guy. But this is a tough ask for Jose Delgado in his second UFC fight. Hyder Emil, 11-0, knocked out that Korean dude that just lost to Daniel Santos. I forget what his name is. Um, Jiang Ying Lee. So him, and he beat William Gomez, who beat Joe Anderson Brito, who a lot of people thought was the best unranked featherweight at the time. We know he's not. He just got dominated by Pat Sabatini. But William Gomez is a big, big win for Hyder, with Hyder only having 3 fights in the UFC, two knockouts and a win over William. It's hard to say Delgado goes out there and puts Hyder's lights out. I don't think Hyder can beat Emil for 2 to 3 rounds convincingly. Hyder's the underdog, bro. Hyder's the underdog, just so y'all know. Delgado's good. He's 9-1. He's had less fights than Hyder Emil, but I believe like pretty much all his wins come by knockout or by finish. He has no decision wins. He has 5 knockout wins and 4 submission wins. His only losses by decision. I believe it was split. I could be wrong. Let me check. It was unanimous. But Hyder's good and Delgado is good. This is a 50-50 fight. For me, the deciding factor is, can Delgado put Hyder Emil on the back foot and put him out before Hyder can get warmed up and get his game plan going? Because Hyder was severely injured. I believe he had a knee injury and some other injury going into the William Gomez fight before it even got in the cage. And I believe he had an injury, and then in the fight he got a knee injury as well. And he still went out there and beat William Gomez. I personally thought William Gomez won. I'd have to rewatch it. It's been since March. I'm going to rewatch it because I just don't know. But Hyder Emil got a big win, bro. I think if he comes out here and beats Delgado, give him a ranking. He'll be 12-0. He beat one of the best unranked featherweights in his 3rd UFC fight. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, William Gomez is gonna come out here and style on this dude." William Gomez by 30-27 born decision. And so did I. I thought the same thing. But Hyder came out here and really showed, yo, I don't got a lot of pro fights, but bro, I'm good. And I think this would either be a moment where Delgado comes out here and says, "Man, you're getting a decision. I'm gonna knock you out and show, hey, I'm better than Gomez too. I'm gonna come out here and knock you out." Or Hyder's able to outwork him throughout the fight and get the decision. I think I'm going to go Hyder Emil 29-28 decision. I'm gonna trust Hyder Emil's chin. I've seen him get hit with some clean shots by Gomez, and Gomez has some some like a little sneaky slick power. He was clipped a lot, and he got clipped a couple times in the Ying Lee fight, and he just took it. He wasn't phased. I mean, Emil took some brutal leg kicks in the Gomez fight. He took some hard shots. A lot of people would have folded. He stuck with it. Got the split decision win. I'm gonna trust in him. I'm gonna trust him to come in here and get the second and third round. Maybe, you know, based on Jose Delgado's contender series fight and his UFC debut against Conor Matthews. He's a quick starter. He likes stabs in the jab. He likes ripping the boxing combinations. So maybe Hyder Emil is just like, okay, I'm gonna let him do his thing in the first round. I'm gonna let him do what he needs to do, and then I'm gonna go based off that. I'm gonna go based off what I see, and then from there he's gonna work his way. Second round might be close. Maybe some people are like, oh, I think Delgado got it, but the judge gave it to Hyder, and then third round, Delgado's like, holy shit, it's the third round. I spent 10 minutes with war. I'm in this with an elite dude. Second UFC fight, international fight week on the big prelims. And he just kind of crumbles. His gas tank doesn't hold up. He's not able to land the shots he was landing in the first or the second round. He's not able to get his rhythm. And Hyder gets the wrestling going, takes him down, gets to the back, controls him. I'm going to say Hyder Emil 29-28, unanimous decision, and he moves to 12-0. So give me Hyder Emil. Next fight. This one will be a great one. Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. I'm a big RoboCop fan. Picked him against Jared Cannonier. Picked him against Christian Leroy Duncan. Picked him against Brad Tavares. I picked him against a lot of the dudes he fought. I can't remember the last time I picked against him. I'm gonna pick him again here. Jack Hermanson came out here last February, over a year ago, and beat Joe Pyfer in a fight night main event, and was like, I'm gonna have a big 2024, 2 more fights. Never saw him again. Been a year and 4 months, and he's finally back. I don't know where he's been, but I can't trust the consistency. I can't trust that he's staying in as good a shape as he will, even for the Joe Pyfer fight. And I'm going to say RoboCop gets him out here round 1 or 2. RoboCop's got some nasty power, some really freaking strong power, and his grappling is good. I think him and Jermaine. If we're going submission wise, I'd give it Hermanson. If we're going wrestling and grappling, I think it's kind of even. Maybe Hermanson leans a little bit. But I'm confident that if Jack Hermanson feels pressure against the cage and he shoots a double like Gregory, especially if he's able to shove him off and go right back to ripping the body. And I'm actually gonna say Gregory stops, bro. Jack Hermanson in round 1 or 2, probably round 1. Jack's a slow starter. He was getting kind of clipped a lot in the first round against Joe Pyfer. He's been stopped in the first round. He got really beat up against Marvin Vittori in the first round of their fight a couple years ago. I'm just gonna say Gregory puts it on him. Herman's not able to. Even Chris Curtis, who isn't the fastest starter, was able to touch him up a little. Jack got that win, but it's just like the first round, he's not the best. I think Gregory's gonna come in here. He almost knocked out Jared Cannonier in the first round. Come in here, set it up towards the end of round 1. Jack overextends, boop, it's over, and Gregory gets a round 1 KO. Probably gets back into talks from maybe getting a ranking. Maybe he needs one more, but yeah, I'm gonna say Gregory Rodriguez comes in and gets the round 1 TKO and gets back in the win column after a tough loss to Cannonier, where he showed amazing heart. He heart Cannonier bad, dropped him, but his gas tank didn't hold up. But I don't think his gas tank's really going to be able to need to hold up. I think he's just going to be able to find that finish against Hermanson, who's been out for a while, like he usually is. He fights once, takes a long break, fights once, takes a long break. And I think that's going to catch up to him here. So give me Gregory by round 1 TKO. Main card opener, Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I've seen people picking Peyton Talbot, which if he can stop the takedowns, he's good. He will win. He's he's better than Felipe on the feet. He's longer. He's taller. He's more accurate. He throws more output. He's good on the feet, and he just has way better timing. But I'm gonna pick Felipe Lima by submission. Um, rounds round 3. I'm gonna say round 3 submission. Um, I think fight starts. Payne touches him 1-1-2, touch him with the 1-2. Shoots a front kick to the body, throws a body kick. Felipe catches it, gets him against the cage. They're working in the clinch. Felipe gets the body lock, takes him down, works him. Peyton gets up, gets taken down again, gets up, gets taken down again, and Felipe gets that first round. Because the thing with Peyton is he's good getting up. He knows how to get up from grappling. He doesn't know how to get up and get to range. He knows, hey, they're on my back. I do this. I plant my feet. I get my back to the cage. If they're right here and they're trying to get into my full guard, trying to pull me down and get in full guard, I know to get my back to the cage. I know to posture my hips up. If they're on the back, I know I could try a Grammy roll. I know I can, stay patient. And if they make that misstep, I can shoot up to the feet. He knows how to do that, but he doesn't know, hey, I'm back to the feet, but they're on my back still. We're against the cage. I know how to fight these hands right and, pull away. Because he'll try to fight in the hands, he'll make a mistake, and they get dragged right back down. We saw it in his last fight against Honey Barcelos, which was 6 months ago. I would have liked Peyton to take at least 9 months off, maybe come back around MSG because it was a tough loss. It was a dominant loss. Even on the feet, he didn't look the best. He looked tired. He didn't look as accurate, which gives me concerns that Felipe might be able to get ahead in the striking too. He's got pretty good jabs and pretty good leg kicks. He does nothing like extremely good though on the feet. Felipe is a very like slow striker. He doesn't have speed. He really doesn't have power. But I'm just gonna say Felipe gets the grappling going early. Peyton gets up, gets taken down, gets up, gets taken down. I think Talbot gets taken down 4 more times. 4 times. No, four max. He gets taken down because he is pretty good at getting up. But I think he's gonna get taken down a couple more times. Um, and then eventually, third round, Felipe's still in there. He's shown good cardio. His first fight was on short notice on 145, and he submitted Muhammad Naimov, who's really good. Just got a win over Bogdan Grad. Miles John, who's a little underrated, not the best guy in the world, and it was at featherweight, which I think gives him more impressive win because Miles John is pretty powerful with his overhands, and that's 10 more pounds of power in my opinion. So again, that's a pretty okay win. That was at UC Tampa. I was there. Felipe Lima looked exceptional. I scored at 29-28. But yeah, I think he's just gonna come in here. I could even maybe see a world where early in the fight, Talbot clips Felipe. Felipe drops. Peyton follows up with ground and pound. Felipe survives reverse position and controls the rest of the round, which would still be a Peyton Talbot round because he dropped him. But I just think Felipe is going to come in here, be able to wear on him. I think he will, be wearing a couple bruises, maybe a cut from Peyton. But eventually, Felipe is able to work him. They're in half guard. Peyton tries a mistake, gets caught in the triangle, arm triangle. It gets locked in, and everybody's like, holy shit, Peyton's about to get finished. Oh my God, no way, no way, no way. Peyton taps. Felipe wins by round 3 sub. I think I think he's one of the best bantamweights, unranked, and I think he could do good in the rankings against someone like Patchy Mix. I can see him being compared with. He's not in the rankings, but even someone like Amon Zahabi, I could see Felipe doing okay against Montel Jackson. I could see a world where he beats Montel Jackson with the grappling. So yeah, give me Felipe Lima by round 3 submission, and goes 3-0 in the UFC and gets another win. So yeah, Felipe Lima is the pick. Next fight, Benil Dariush versus Hanato Moicano. This fight was meant to happen at UFC 311, and my pick was going to be Moicano. My pick was going to be Moicano by decision. And then obviously Armin Sarukian pulled out. They canceled the fight with Benil, and Hanato moved Hanato to the fight for the title. I'm picking Benil by decision. I'm picking him by 30-27 decision. Um, Moicano's whole thing was, I need Moicano wants money. I cannot afford to lose my brother. Brother, you got paid really well to take that title fight on 24 hours notice. You probably don't need money as much as you did back then. And Moicano and Gamrot are teammates. So and Gamrot's fought Benil. He lost. But I'm sure Moicano, I would hope at least Moicano's like, hey, Gamrot, I know you fought Benil for 3 rounds. Let me see what you think. Even Poirier. Poirier's been in the lightweight division. Hey Poirier, I know you're training for a fight, but I know you watched Benil's fight. What do you think he does good? And like what do you think opens up for this? So I hope he's picking the brains of Grant Dawson, Mateus Gamrot, Dustin Poirier, the lightweights in his gym that are around Benil that could fight Benil next. If Benil loses, he could fight Grant Dawson next. If Benil wins, he could rematch Mateus Gamrot. You know, he won't fight Poirier because Poirier's retiring. But I would hope Moicano's using the teammates that are in the same division that give him similar bodies, similar styles. Gamrot has a kind of similar style to Benil, mostly a grappler. Same with Grant Dawson. And yeah, but I think a lot of people picked Gamrot to beat Benil, and Benil not only went out there and controlled it, but he dropped Gamrot pretty brutally in the third round. I could even see a world where Benil drops Moicano and TKOs him, but I think Moicano's chin has definitely evolved and been more durable the longer he's been at lightweight. I mean, Jalen Turner is a sniper and clipped Moicano clean, and Moicano was able to survive. But yeah, I'm gonna say Benil 30-27 decision. I think Benil's gonna be able to get there better in the scrambling, the rest of the scrambles. He's gonna be able to get on top more. on the feet, I think he has more power. Moicano has a good body kick. That is his best weapon, that body kick. And what he did to Benoit back in Paris last September, chef's kiss. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal performance. But that's Benoit, who we've now seen isn't as good as we think. We've seen Beneil that he's good. His last two fights, knockout loss to Charles Oliveira, who's fighting Elite Sport in the main event for the title, and he was winning that first round up to that point as well. Don't forget that. And then Armis Sarukian, and he got caught with a knee in the clinch like a minute in, and it just like flash KO. Beneil didn't really have time to get warmed up, and I think that fight's a lot more competitive if Beneil if like Beneil didn't get knocked out. I think that fight would be a competitive round. I think Armin probably would have still stopped him, to be honest, but yeah, but I think Beneil's gonna come back. That was in December 2023, his last fight. It's June of 2025. That's a year and a half off. Beneil's probably considered retirement. He's probably considered why he's fighting, and I'm sure he's found the motivation for why he's fighting, why he wants to become a champion still. And I'm sure he thinks I'm still fighting because I know I can become a champion. So I'm gonna trust the long layoff for Benio. Two knockout losses isn't that good, especially 6 months apart. But I'm gonna trust the time off. I'm gonna trust the recovery. I'm gonna trust the training camp that he's had. And I think Benio's gonna come in here in 30-27 Hanato. I love Hanato to death. Huge Hanato Moicano fan. I also need money just like Hanato, but I think Benio's just going to be more motivated and be more prepared for this fight, considering that Benio trained for Moicano for an entire training camp, and then the day before got pulled out, and then Moicano the last 24 hours had to spend studying Islam as much as possible. And I'm sure that Islam fight's chewing him up alive, because any fighter would be like, "Hey, this is on super short notice. I bet you I can beat them on full camp notice or whatever." So I'm sure that, and then now he's training for Benio again, and Benio's probably still been like, I feel like that Moicano fight is still coming. I'm gonna keep watching Moicanos, keep preparing. Even if it's not Moicano, I'm gonna keep studying and keep just evolving my game. So yeah, give me Benio by 30-27 decision, and a great performance, and he gets back in fighting the elite of the elite. So give me Benio Dariush. Next fight, featured fight, Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. I'm picking Brandon Royval by 29-28 decision. I'm picking him by decision. Joshua Van at UFC, what was it? 316 went out there in the featured prelim and demolished and dog walked Bruno Silva, which is a great performance. Nobody's really ever done that to Bruno Silva. Not even McNeil Cop. McNeil Cop was more competitive with Bruno, and Joshua Van put on a masterclass. He just is so good. He throws so much output. His boxing's amazing. His defense is pretty good as well. But there's a difference from fighting number 15 in the rankings and fighting number 1 in the rankings, who's beat pretty much every damn person in the division except the champion. And it's on like 2 weeks' notice, I believe, like maybe 2.5. It's a couple weeks' notice. And Royval's preparing for Manel Cop, who's just like Van, throws a lot of boxing combinations, but throws more kicks, has really high output. So Royval has been preparing for that. He was preparing for Cop, then he had to pull out, but now he was preparing for Cop again, but Cop pulled out and Van got put in. So in a sense, he's preparing for a similar style, except Manel's just longer and taller and throws more kicks. I'm gonna say Joshua Van comes in here. Royval. I'm gonna say Royval takes the first and the second. I think Royval's gonna understand. Hey, Van's just a fast starter, so if I start fast and I throw Van off, because nobody has started fast against Van. Everybody takes their time, and by then Van's already 10 steps ahead of them by the time the second round's halfway through. They're just now getting into their fight, getting in their groove, and Van's been in the groove for pretty much since pretty much like 90 seconds into round one. I think Royval's going to start quick, land those leg kicks, maybe even shoot a takedown. Van's got phenomenal takedown defense. I don't see Brandon Royval taking him down, but maybe Royval's able to get him into against the fence, work him knees to the thighs, body like landed little body hooks, and landed the knuckle into the ribs, making Van really feel it. And then that first round, Brandon Royval was like, okay, I got that first round. I threw Van off his guard. Then Van, then he really started saying, okay, you want to go speed for speed? We'll go speed for speed. It's a razor close round, but Royval with the leg kicks and the teep kicks and a step in knee, because Van doesn't throw kicks. He throws leg kicks and calf kicks, which is always good. I think every fighter should. It really helps throughout the fights. But he mostly just throws boxing combinations. And I think Royval's just going to be able to get ahead and get, amaze the judges a little more with the kicks and with the clinch work. So Royval takes round two. And then round three, Van puts it on him, ripping body shots, standing close, uppercut, lead hook, straight to the body, jab to the head, rip to the body with the hook. Maybe Van lands a step in, he's landing the leg kicks. Royval's leg kicks are starting to get checked, and it's like, okay, if this is a five round fight, the momentum would be completely different. Van might actually get it. But it's just too late. Royval's got those first 2 rounds probably. Maybe it's a split decision because it's a prospect and against a veteran who's been there for a while. The judges probably gonna be like, there's always a conspiracy theory that once a new name fights an old name, that the new name will get a little favored, so there's new blood. So I'm actually gonna say split decision. I'm gonna say two of the judges give Royval the first and second, and one judge gives Van the second and the third. Split decision. Brandon Royval wins, and he's next for the title fight. I don't care about the Manel Cop fight. Manel Cop can fight Kiori Horiguchi, or he can fight. He's gonna be injured for a while, but when he comes back, I think Royval probably is gonna get the winner of Pantoja versus Carfrance, which we're about to get into. But yeah, give me Brandon Royval by split decision and retaining his number one contenders status. Co-main event: Pantoja versus Carfrance, the rematch. Their first fight was on the Ultimate Fighter, so it's been a long since they first fought. Um, First of all, Pantoja's 35. There is a curse that Volk just broke. That from the I think it's like, I believe it's from 170 down. That once you're 35, you're gonna start losing fights. Volk just proves it wrong when he won the vacant featherweight title against Lopez. And I think Pantoja is also going to prove it wrong. I love Kyle France to death. I've been a fan of him for a long time. I picked him against Moreno in the rematch. I picked him against Askar Askarov. Picked him against Cody Garbrandt. I picked him against a lot of guys. Picked him against Albazi. I even picked him against Steve Erceg. I'm gonna go Pantoja by submission. Um, Round 3 or 4. I think round 1 is going to be Kyle France's round. Maybe even round 2. Kyle France hits like Carl Franz is the hardest hitting 125er. I mean, we saw what he did to Steve Erceg, lined him up with that overhand, followed up, dropped him again, and finished him. And yeah, we saw that, which was in September. So it's been a bit of a layoff for Carl Franz. He came back after a long time off against a robbery loss against Amir Albazi. He won that fight, but he lost by decision. Came back, I believe he had a surgery. I think he had like a back injury or something. He had an injury, got some new tattoos, came back and knocked out Erceg in round 1, which is crazy. I did not expect that. I expected him to probably win by decision. But yeah. And then, now it's June, International Fight Week, fighting Pantoja. He called his shot. He's getting the flyweight title fight. Pantoja just fought in December against Kai Sakura, got a round 2 submission, had a beautiful performance there. I think he's going to get another submission. I'm going to say a rear naked choke. I could even see like what Pantoja did to Alex Perez. They're against the cage, and Pantoja gets on the back while Perez was standing and rear naked choked him like that. I'm gonna say that same thing happens. Carfront's on the ground. He's working. He's his sides to the cage. He's working up, gets up. Panther just jumps up, lashes at the rear naked choke. Carfront's is standing. He tries jumping back. He thinks about jumping back, but he doesn't want to really get caught in fighting the hands, and eventually just has a tap round 3 after a pretty competitive round. After a pretty competitive fight, I think Carfront's gets the first with the strike, and he's able to stop takedowns early. Lands the leg kicks, lands the stepping elbows when Pantoja tries coming in. Maybe even hurts Pantoja when she shoots the takedown. Carfrance has some underrated knee strikes. He's pretty good with the knees. Lands a knee when Pantoja tries shooting in the second round. Pantoja's warmed up. Maybe he even has a cut on his eye, bleeding a little bit, comes in, gets a takedown. Carfrance works his way up, and it's still 50-50 round because Carfrance does some damage on the feet, but then gets taken down for the rest of the round, or for a majority of the rest of the round. Carfrance gets up within like the final 45 seconds and is a little hesitant there because he doesn't want to get taken down again. And then third round, Santos is just able to come in. He's fully warmed up. He sees the patterns Carfrance is doing up until that point of the fight, and Carfrance doesn't see the same patterns or as many patterns that Pantoja's doing as Pantoja sees that Carfrance is doing, and Pantoja shoots the double leg, gets to the back. Carfrance gets the side of the cage, works up, and right when he gets to the feet, Pantoja locks in a rear naked choke. Carfrance tries to break in the hands, can't break it. Thinks about jumping back, but then he doesn't really want to be stuck on the ground with Pantoja. And Pantoja just keeps the choking while Carfrance is standing trying to fight the hands, and eventually taps, and Pantoja gets a round 3 submission, retains the flyweight title. And I think one more win, he's the greatest fighter of all time. I mean, if we're going based off like the way he's winning, Demetrius, right now he's the current flyweight GOAT, but I could definitely see in the future Pantoja being labeled the undoubtable UFC flyweight greatest of all time, or greatest the greatest UFC flyweight of all time. So yeah, I think Pantoja is going to retain. I'd love to see a Franz win, but I like Pantoja and I like what he's been doing right now in his career and the past couple fights. I think they've all been cool. Um, so yeah, give me Pantoja by submission round three. Main events, brothers. It might be over, man. Ilya Taporia versus Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. I'm picking Ilya by KO. I love Charles Oliveira. He's not winning, bro. The wrestling, I think Ilya is better wrestling. Jiu-jitsu's even, maybe Charles, maybe Ilya. It just depends. I think Charles has the slightly better jiu-jitsu. He just is able to pull off the submissions way more often than Ilya, but Ilya's sleeping people, so that's why. Striking is Ilya Taporia. At least boxing. Kickboxing could go either way. Ilya's never thrown a body kick or a high kick in his entire UFC career. So I'd give the kick into Charles Oliveira. Plus he does pretty cool jump kicks to the body. A little jump deep kicks. But I'm picking Ilya by round 2 KO. First round, Charles, keeps the kicks, keeps Ilya at range, sticks the jab. And Ilya's not a fast starter per se. He likes getting his reads. He likes bobbing his head, seeing what's open, and then he comes out once he sees the things he needs to see. Then he starts opening up, ripping. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think Charles is going to get that first round based off activity. Um, Probably, excuse me, and Charles is pretty good in the clinch. Got pretty good clinch knees to the head into the body. So maybe gets Ilya in the clinch, lands a couple knees to the body, and Ilya, lands a straight lands a right hand off the break. That Charles feels, but nothing too major. Charles gets that first round, and then the second round, Ilya's like, okay, now I see what I can do, and now I'm gonna really mess you up and finish you. Ilya stalking Charles. Charles sticking the jab. Tries throwing front kicks to the body. Ilya catches a front kick, pulls a, grabs his leg, pushes it off there against the, Charles backs to the cage. Ilya rips, body, head, body, boom, one shot to the head. Charles goes down. Ilya falls up with the ground and pound and stops him or puts him out cold. I think this hits the ground. Charles can fall, or Ilya can fall up all day and not get submitted. I seen things he's saying. He said, "Oh, I want to submit Charles." I can honestly maybe see it happen. I don't think it is though. Maybe, but I think Ilya's gonna come out here and stop Charles in round 2 by TKO. Grab that lightweight belt. Probably caught Islam and be like, "You can't run from me. If you want to go up to 170, I'll beat up some other dudes and go up to 170." Blah 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 blah, and start talking trash to Islam. Even though Islam's probably gonna lose the welterweight title because he's not gonna beat Jack Dillon. He's not beating JDM, so he's gonna lose anyway. So yeah, but yeah, give me Ilya Taporia by round 2 TKO, grabbing the featherweight belt, going to 17-0, getting another KO win, beating another fan favorite, and just further cementing his legacy that he could very well become the greatest of all time, over Jones, over anybody. If you give him enough time, he's not even 30, which is insane to me. Like what he's been doing in the UFC. He's 28, man. He's 28. Like with KO wins over Max Holloway, KO over Volkanovski, 50-42 Josh Emmett, submitted Bryce Mitchell, brutally KO Jai Herbert. Oh wow, apparently he was meant to fight Edson Barboza. He would have killed Edson. Brutally KO'd Damon Jackson in his second UFC fight. Beat Yusuf Zalal when, and it was a close fight. I think Yusuf's done the best out of anybody in Ilya's UFC career, which is crazy. But yeah, give me Ilya by round two KO. Comes in with the jab, rip to the body, rips an uppercut, rips another body hook, and comes over with the overhand. And that's what stops Charles. There's a brutal 6-punch combination, 5-6 punch combo. Charles can't stop it, and he gets TKO'd and loses another lightweight title fight. And maybe even retires. I can see a world where Charles is like, man, I'm probably not gonna get another title fight anytime soon. I'm up there in age. I think he's like 36, 37. I could be wrong. Maybe he's 34. I don't know how old he is. He's uh he's 35. So yeah, he's up there in age. He don't got that much longer. He's been through some actual wars. He's fought the best of the best. He's a plus 320 underdog. Yeah, I can honestly see a world where Ilya just really puts him down and Charles calls it there, knowing he's not gonna get another title fight, knowing he's gonna have to fight down. He doesn't want to redo it. He's like, man, I've done what I need to do in this sport. I've accomplished a lot. This is it for me, guys. And UFC 317 maybe ends with Charles Oliver retiring. I don't think so, though, but he very well could. He's had 45 pro fights, but nonetheless, Ilya Taporia by round 2 KO is my prediction and new UFC lightweight champion Ilya Taporia. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry I didn't have the guest on. I was really excited to have Matt Favola on. Unfortunately, he canceled. So I'm sorry about that, guys. But July 12th is the next UFC fight night. The week of, I promise you, I'll get a guest. I don't know who. I'll figure that out, and I will set something up ahead of time, make sure everything's good. But I promise you guys, I will do everything in my power to have a guest. And appreciate y'all watching, and thank you.